Welcome back to the second segment of ILFL Soccer Nights here at NTV. As we discussed in the earlier section, let's look at the result of the first semi-final between Burdett and Beaumont. And if we can have a look at the results, Beaumont winning convincingly 5-2 against Burdett. We discussed this last week, Nanu and Ajmal. I know, Nanu, you probably thought Burdett had a chance, but I think it was a bit too much for them on the day.
It probably was, and that's what I thought would be the case when I mentioned it last week in the show. And as kind of predicted who was going to win. But it was nothing to really predict, honestly speaking, because we know what Burdett's made of, we know what Beaumont's made of, we know what players they've got. And it was just a clash, and we would know who would come out top, and Beaumont did come out top. And especially this season as well, Beaumont's been outperforming most of the other teams.
I think what I've seen this season with Beaumont is a lot of the regular players are attending every week, hence the results reflects that. When you get your full squad coming every week and you play together, you know, the attendance is there. I think the results is
It's not just the full squad, it's the same consistent players playing each other in the same positions as well, and it seems to be working for them as well. And you know, it's a good thing that it's worked for them on this as well. So, I had no doubt about Beaumont going past Burdett. Burdett, on the other hand, is an extremely excellent team. I quite admire them. They've been in the first division as far as I can remember, and they stay there, and they're quite consistent as well. So, yeah, a pretty strong team. But Beaumont, not only are they strong and a bigger setup, particularly this season, they've been outperforming the previous seasons as well.
Ajmal, if I can, it's a credit to Burdett to get to the semi-final. Losing 5-2 against a Beaumont side, an experienced side, a cup team, a lot of people will say, because they're quite successful in the cup. It's not bad result overall to be in the semi-final, losing against Beaumont.
I was going to say 5-2 for Burdett isn't too bad, you know, and going back to actually Beaumont, you know, they're a class team and class players. You know, without class, you know, you're not going to win many games. And Beaumont showed that. Look at them in the league and look at them in the cup games as well. You know, most people are tipping them to win it. So, you know, that's how good they are. So
okay. So credit to Arif and his boys at Beaumont Camp. Were the first team to get to the final of the League Cup. The other semi-final will be played in 2 weeks' time between Redcoat and Bromley, and we'll see who actually meets Beaumont in the final. Final itself, it's confirmed. It's Sunday, 26th of March at Marlin Stadium. So all the ILFL member teams are invited to attend. So if you're free on that day, please come and watch the final itself, and we'll see who joins Beaumont in the ILFL League Cup final. The other fixture we're going to look at is the remaining quarter-final of the Challenge Cup. It was between AMY and Spirit. I was watching this game. It was as it was next pitch to Hawk and Eagle and game itself. Spirit winning 4-3 against AMY. Now, that was a very outstanding game because I know AMY was winning 2-1 in the second half against Spirit, which was quite surprising considering that week before Spirit beat Redcoat and a fantastic result itself. And then AMY had a penalty. They missed the penalty, and I think that was a turning point. And the Spirit, they actually had the fighting spirit, and credit to the management, Foyers in particular. I know he didn't have a keeper. He had to go in goal to cover the goalkeeper. But from the goal, he managed to galvanize the team, get the team to believe, and actually turn the result around and won 4-3. So credit to Foyers and the boys at the Spirit for a debut season, for a new team in the semi-final of the Cup. And we know they've done fantastically well in the league. They're second place in the league itself. Now, I know we discussed and we've praised them enough, but this again shows the fighting spirit and a credit to the management for pulling a result, because AMY were really good. And on the second half, to be honest, they played good football, and I was quite surprised that they didn't, you know, take advantage and get more goals.
It must have been a sort of a tough game for Eastborough as well at the same time. So it wasn't actually exactly a walkover. I mean, the results just say, you know, the score was 4-3 to Eastborough. So it just says that Eastborough didn't just win it; they had to fight for it as well. If you look at the first division table, the stats say that there isn't much difference between Eastborough and AMY. I mean, they've scored the similar amount of goals and they conceded the similar amount of goals, but it seems like it's that slight edge that Spirit has, and what that is, I'm not quite sure, because I
Is it because it's a new team and they have this drive and passion to show the rest of the teams, you know, they've got something to offer in this league?
It has to be the driving passion, because they've scored, what, 2 goals more than AMY in the whole season, and they've conceded about 2 or 3 goals less than AMY in the whole season, and Spirit is somewhere, you know, second place, and AMY is at third from bottom, so it's a huge difference there as well. So it just shows that it's not just the results. I mean, 1 or 2 goals difference could be the whole difference that makes in the season. And you know, well done to Espirito, and I think they've got a fantastic management. And I think they're fantastic players as well. They all come in, they're consistent, and they play week in, week out, and it's really nice to have them around as well.
Yeah. So once again, credit to Foyers and his boys at Espirito. You're in the semi-final. We will be doing the Challenge Cup semi-final cup draws in the third segment. So if you're watching, stay with us, and in the next segments we will show the draw itself. Now, coming back to the Premiership, we do have two fixtures for this coming Sunday. The first fixture is Robin Hood Tigers versus Reach Out, Stepney versus Beaumont. Now, what two fixtures? Aswell, if I can get you to get your perspective, Stepney versus Beaumont, that is a clash, and it's a defining moment for both teams. Should they go for the title?
Massive. The team who wins this are in pole position to actually, not favourites, but in a good
to challenge
position,
with
exactly,
Ace.
with Ace. So this is a do-or-die win, must-win for both teams. It's going to be intense. You could imagine, you know, there's going to be so much intensity, desire. There's going to be hunger. It's going to be very competitive. That's a game to watch.
They have this rivalry between Stepney for a number of years. To be in this position, knowing the fact a draw would not be good for both teams. I think a win is a must to make sure they're, you know, chasing Ace down. But otherwise, a draw or loss, I think they'll most likely be in a disadvantaged position.
Well, you could actually even say a loss could actually put them out of the actual contenders title race. So that's how big it is, you know. Could you imagine the fear and the pressure that, you know, both teams are going to go into this game?
That's going to be an exciting match to watch. So if you're out there, watch the Stepney versus Beaumont, a nail-biting game to watch, and that could be a deciding factor of the title itself, going for the chasing down Ace in the Premiership. The other fixture we looked at, Robin Hood Tigers and Reach Out. Reach Out in the recent weeks not been performing to the expected level, Nano.
No, they haven't been, and even if they did, I don't think it's going to be a walkover, because we're talking about Robin Hood Tigers as well, and they've been performing quite well recently as it goes, and it's one of those teams that actually doesn't give up that easily. We've seen them coming from behind on numerous occasions, losing 1-0, 2-0, and then they've come back into winning the game. So if anything, Reach Out is going to have a very tough time, but it's one of those games that Reach Out cannot afford to lose. So I appreciate they've got this slight edge over Robin Hood Tigers, but if they slip up just once, then Robin Hood would capitalise on the mistakes. Let's
leave the Premiership aside for a second and look at the Interleague Champions Cup semi-final, which will be taking place this coming Sunday. The two semi-finals. This, for me, is the ultimate competition to win, the bragging rights, the champions of champions. And there's 4 teams in it. Obviously, we've got 2 teams from Hackney and Leighton League. We've got 2 teams from ILFL. The first fixture is Myland versus Ace. Shakespeare versus Bromley. Now, Shaq, if I can get into this, I know you've seen Myland play. For me, I think they're one of the favourites out of the 4 teams. They're one of the strongest, doing very well in the Hackney Leighton League. Versus Ace, do you see our ILFL team having a chance, or do you think it's 50-50? Obviously, you've seen the game before with Myland playing.
I think I agree with you for once. I believe Myland are a really good side, but you can't get away with Ace. Ace are a really good team. On the day, Ace will give anyone a good game. So I think it will be a balanced game. I think it will be like a 1-0 game. I think whoever scores first, I think they win. And the Bromley game, I think that's a really tough game for Bromley.
I also think that Ace have a slight advantage over Myland, because I've seen both of these teams play on numerous occasions, and I know how Myland play as well. Ace, on the other hand, play a particular kind of footballing that annoys Myland, and Myland are not used to playing that type of football, and Myland is a very physical team, and they like to win the ball in the air and go for the long balls, but Ace, on the other hand, like to play on their feet, and if they could do that and bring their game under the control, how Stepney did a couple of seasons ago against Myland, and I think Ace has probably got a very good chance of going past Myland.
We know obviously Myland is a strong side, but Ace, Hassan, if you're listening, you do have a chance. Look what happened yesterday in the second half. Once your team started playing football, and off the referee's case, you played better football and got the result. So if you can pass that information to your players, then you got a chance. Good luck to you on Sunday. Also to Hamid and Bromley boys, hopefully you guys can pull off a result and get one of our teams in the final itself. So both the semi-finals will be played this Sunday, the Interleague Champions Cup semi-final this Sunday at Hackney Marshes. Now, if you can look at our vets. Last Thursday, Nano, we had Storm Doris, attacking, but still the fixtures went ahead.
Yes, I did. I mean, although London Tigers won 4-1 against Mohammedan Vets and Bowman Masters winning and Bromley Legends winning, I think Doris took the limelight away from all the other teams. And
So credit to the boys, they still played, and you know.
credit to the boys for hanging on and fighting to the end. And you know, glad to say that all of the fixtures took place and all of them ended as we
Let's
expected.
have a quick look at a couple of results. I know, as you mentioned, Bowman Masters winning 1-0 against Abu Hani Vets. The surprising, or not so surprising, Bromley Legends beat Stepney Legends 3-0. That wasn't on the cards, was it? 3 goals and Stepney, losing. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that wasn't on the cards. It's difficult to explain, but I really don't want to take anything away from Bromley Legends because they are a good side. They've got fantastic players and they play football as well. So it was just Stepney probably just had a bad night.
Considering the week before, Stepney thrashed Sire 4-1, I believe it was. To come back the week after losing, obviously it makes a huge difference on the table itself. The game I want to discuss is Weavers Vets versus Sire. Weavers winning 1-0. I was watching the game and I couldn't believe how Sire lost the game. Because this season I've watched so many Premiership games, the dominating side ends up losing the game because Sire should have been 2-0 clear winning that game, because one of the players, I won't mention his name, had 2 easy chances, empty goal, and he missed it. And Weavers in the last few minutes.
It really is frustrating. Those teams who have the upper hand, who control the game for about 35 minutes, and then a sudden burst of brilliance from the opposition, and you concede a goal, and that's it, game over. Yeah, it really is frustrating. But on the other hand, you know, there's 8 teams in the Premier Division, and can you take anything away from them? I mean, they all deserve to be in the Premier Division anyway, and there's not even a single weak team. So it really depends on the day how teams come prepared, what the mentality is, what the focus is, and if they have all of the players present and injury-free as well. And that makes a huge difference, because we're talking about 40 minutes of intense football, and we're not just talking about running around like headless chickens. You know, we're talking about skills, agility, composure, fighting to the end, no room for mistake. A single mistake will see you conceding a goal. So you have to be really focused in the Veterans League. Unlike in the Open Age, you know, in the Open Age you've got a lot of time, you've got a lot of space, you've got a lot of players, you can move stuff around. But in the Veterans League, there's just hardly any room for error. Yeah.
Just before I go to the first division results for last Thursday, there was a game on last week Monday after the show, and obviously Ajmal, you had to leave early, actually play the game. And you won a 3-0 against Riverside, I believe?
That's right, yeah.
That's the first win as well?
That's our first win. So great team talk from our manager Rahat. He actually made a very interesting comment. We've lost 3 games prior to that game, and throughout the whole of last season we only lost 4 games. So it was quite motivating, you know. He said to us, digest that. And in terms of the first half, I think it was still 0-0. So it was a great performance in terms of never die attitude, but yeah. Really
just to cut you off, we're going to discuss further more about Division 1 and Division 2, and also we're going to do the draw in the next segment for the Challenge Cup. So we're going to take a short break, so we'll see you in a few minutes on the other side.